Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, booze, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he manifested that, you drink. If My Sock Summer talks about the gym, or tells us he simply didn't have time, you drink. And if I talk music or Star Wars, you drink. And of course, you can make all of us drink for a tip of $1.08 or more. More. But speaking of drinking, fella, what are you drinking? Beef Loaf, what are you drinking today?
I'm staying on the path, boys. I'm making sure that I keep going with this thing. And I've been on the beer path. I've been enjoying beer. And it'll be my first time, my maiden ride of having the Lone Star. I've never had it before. I've not even had one sip. I opened this bottle, but I did not take one sip. I took a little snoot of it on my nose, just get a little feel for it. So I'm going to take the inaugural sip right now for you guys.
It's a beautiful, cheap beer. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Oh, that's lovely. I enjoy that. Yeah.
It tastes like something, Beef, that you go to a music venue and get for $1. Like that's like, yeah. We're at Fireside Bowl. We got to walk into that back room to get drinks because it's the rest of it's all ages. So you're there and you get what was the one at Empty Bottle?
Empty Bottle was the Lone Star too.
No, it wasn't Lone Star back in the day. It was some bullshit from Wisconsin that was like $1. I can't remember
Rainier?
the name of it.
Was it Rainier?
No. From Wisconsin, not Washington. But regardless, Beef, I hope you enjoy the Lone Star. And it checks another box.
It does check another box. I looked for the Strohs. No Strohs. I saw Schlitz, but it's not on the list, so I didn't get it. Lone Star was the only thing I could pick up on the list.
Schlitz is on the list, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I must have missed it if it was on the list.
That's all right.
What else I saw, though, and I picked up a 12-pack of, was Michelob Amber Bock, which I haven't had in about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And the 12-pack looks like it's 10 years old. It looked like someone forgot it existed there. So I bought it. We'll see how it ends up drinking. None tonight. I'm going to stick with the Lone Star. I've been making ice at home because I have the ice maker trees. I've been like on a path to make a lot of ice. So I made all my own ice. I got the ice bucket right here. It's nice when you can make your own bucket. Oh, and Mrs. Beef replaced the little fridge back here that broke down. So those who were worried about my tiny fridge that died, got a brand new fridge.
Brand new one? Beef, did you get that Michelob from Casino Royale? Is that where that came from?
That's where it tastes the best. That's where it's ice cold. It was $1 back in the day. You know, inflation. Now you got to pay $3 for Bruce.
Insane.
Unfortunately.
It's insane. I hate it. MSS, what are you drinking?
Well, I just like, I got a little thirsty, so I did a drink already, but I'm having a big old Bloody Mary. That's right. That's a schooner. They call these the schooners. And I got the vegetable in there, and then I got the straw in there. And I'm gonna mix
what vegetable is it?
It looks like, did you just pull that out of your backyard? I need a garnish. I'm running out back.
I was running through his fence. He just ripped it out through it. He's like, the vegetable. It should be celery, but this is the vegetable.
MSS, I am so glad you're taking on the Bloody Mary. You know why? Because I hate them.
That's why I know.
I'm not a fan either.
I know
both you hate them.
You could have played this a number of ways, MSS.
Yeah.
You could have left it and forced it on one of us. But I love that you're taking one for the team and drinking that for us. I appreciate you.
I don't mind it, actually. So I'm not like fond. I'm not like, oh, these are the best things ever. But it's a great drink, especially more in the morning, not necessarily at 8 o'clock at night on a Thursday, but 10 a.m. with some bacon. Yeah, a little bit better. But
there we go.
Still okay.
How come you didn't cook up a little bacon and throw it in there?
How do you know he didn't?
Oh, he didn't have enough time. I'm gonna guess he didn't have enough time. That'd be my guess right there.
Oh.
No, we're gonna be mid talking to Greenberg, and he's gonna have a piece of bacon hanging out of his mouth.
He's got a side bowl of bacon over there. Off the camera, though, Treasy. We can't see. He's like, I don't have time to make bacon. And he's eating bacon all show.
So, the bacon bowl. I love it.
I would agree with Senior Socks here. He says Micheladas are better than Bloody Marys. I would definitely drink one of those, but that's not on the list. And I already did a drink that's not on the list, so I don't need to do two of them, okay? Yes, I don't need to go back-to-back weeks of doing drinks that aren't even on the list. Stuff that I don't really care so much. Chirizi, what are you drinking tonight?
So I decided I was gonna do gin and tonics, right? Because I still got some gin from last week, but I was like, I'm gonna take a little break from that. I'm gonna get a big bottle of rum and then black rum, and we'll do some dark and stormies.
Nice.
And man, when I was like, should I get a little glass? No, I should get a pint. I ain't drinking rum from a little glass. This is a fast drink. I'll run out of filling this thing up. So I'm going big glass.
Yeah, be a man. Drink out of the big old glass. I love that shit, man. Go ahead.
He says, "Cheers, we got to win today."
Fucking right, we got to win.
First to 50 all year.
Cheers. But also,
does this ruin our draft position if we win this these spring training games? I'm curious. Just let me know.
I mean, we're going to talk more White Sox stuff later, but like, I wish there was the overreaction everywhere. Like for the wins as there is with the losses, because every time they lose, everyone fucking goes ballistic, and then when they win, no one says a peep. You know, like I want a crazy reaction when they win as much as they are when they lose, because it's like, oh god, this team sucks ass, we're gonna be so horrible. And when they win, I want people to be like, holy shit, we might win the division, we just beat the Guardians, you know, or something like that. I need something like that.
Yeah, Martin Perez did do that. Martin Perez did exactly what you said. My Sox summary said, we're not listening to the outside. People don't think we can compete. We can compete and shit. I saw that quote and I was like, this guy is out of his mind.
Yeah, maybe.
Martin, you're out of your mind, my friend.
He might get cut by
I like you, but you crazy.
He's trying to get that opening day start, man.
Yes, that's what you're right. He's politicking right now for that shit.
I'm going to tune out the haters and bring in the love. So, speaking of love.
There we go. There's the love.
I had to do that, and then she likes the lasers too. My friends over there, they love that stuff. So I want to get that.
MSS, how you doing tonight, buddy?
So Chirizi, we should probably let people know that we're going to talk about something. It's a little sexual, right? So
we've never done that before.
It's just
I'm interested in how this is going to go.
I want to throw it out there. There's been some things going around on the Twitter machine. And we're going to talk about one of them. Now, the first one, the one thing, actually, there's only one thing. The first one was this week was Steve Smith Sr. and was caught cheating on his wife with another dude's wife. And the thing is, what's funny is the dude whose wife was cheating, he posted all this stuff online and called him, got him on video, like saying, I'm sorry. Hacked her freaking Facebook and posted a big long message like it was hers, like, I'm Martinez, but I won't be so long because I've been cheating on my husband who bought me a house and gave me a kid and all this stuff. So I went and did a little bit of digging, and they found they're not the Knot, which is like a wedding website that you can put up, and you like, oh, you can put your pictures up there, you can put your registry, you can do all this stuff, right? There's all these pictures. Apparently, Nicole and her husband Tony met on Tinder, and it lasted more than a night. So they decided to get together. They ended up having a baby, and then they got married. They did it reverse order. This was in 2021.
Put the bun in the oven first. Okay,
right? Yeah. So when they're married, there's actually a picture of the baby with them getting married, which I thought that's great. You know, whatever. Cool. So Nicole Martinez has been the talk of the town ever since her husband levied cheating accusations her way. Martinez found herself in the middle of an infidelity scandal with her hubby, Tony, claiming that she was sleeping with former NFL star Steve Smith Sr. Mr. Martinez uploaded evidence to support his claims with various text messages showing Nicole and Steve's flirtatious conversations, and even a video with the Panthers saying, hey, stop fucking my wife. So now, there was another thing that was going on in the SEC where this other girl supposedly cheated on her boyfriend with the boyfriend's dad, but then the boyfriend was like, yo, you can come on back. And people were asking how good it was. It must have been great because you don't do these things. And that just seemed too unbelievable. And I was like, I can't even put her into the situation that I want to do with you guys, with Nicole Martinez, because she is just way too good looking. And I need you to know. I need to know from you guys, rather, not need you guys to know. I need to know from you guys. We're going to play a game. And I don't remember if you guys know, but in the early 2000s, there was a website called Hot or Not. And people would put their picture up on this website. Okay. And so when you put the website up and people would give you a rating. Now, there are several pictures of Nicole Martinez out there. Okay. So I took a smattering of the pictures and I want you guys to give her a ranking based upon the picture. Now, reminder, Nicole is in the Ravens band. And we know if American Pie taught us anything, one time at band camp. Okay. So just keep that in mind.
I'm assessed. Do you mind if we grab a drink right before we start?
Sure, let's do it.
So our guy CJ comes through.
Oh,
he
hell
says,
yeah.
Really rough couple of weeks at work, people. Take a drink and spare a thought for you, man. Love you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hashtag we'll complain about the socks for food. I like that.
CJ, love
Cheers,
you too,
CJ.
buddy.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. All right, so we're gonna do Hot or Not with pictures of Nicole Martinez, who allegedly was getting down and dirty with Steve Smith.
Is that even alleged? I feel like Steve Smith apologized for it, so it probably
He said sorry, right?
maybe he was thinking of somebody else's wife. Who knows? You don't know. Maybe he's getting down all over the place.
Sure.
All right, picture number 1. There's Nicole taking a nice picture for side. Got her shirt is open. Chirizi, Hot or Not? What are we giving that a ranking?
Boy, I love the whole image here because you got the click here to meet me on there. All that shit. Perfectly done, my friend.
The Wayback Machine.
Hot.
Give it a number.
Oh, I got to put a number on it?
Yeah, 1 not hot, 10 is hot.
We'll go 7.
7. Okay. Loaf, what do you think?
I'm kind of in that same range. I might even go 8 right here. I like the glasses feel. Hair's looking nice.
It's pretty good.
Nice breast assists. Yeah, we'll go 8 with this one. Just
got
a little,
the shirt
little
there.
thin for my personal taste, but as a general ruling, I'll go 8 right there.
Yeah. I mean, knowing what we know, though, this feels like I'm
Just
taking a quick picture for Tinder while my husband's in the other room.
We'll get there, Crazy. Slow down your love wagon. Okay, here's picture number 2. All right, Loaf, I'm going to start with you. This is a picture of her with her glasses, with her husband who wasn't cheating. I covered his face up because he's actually pretty good looking, but I don't want to distract you. So here is she with her glasses. Beef Loaf, 1 to 10. What are you thinking, buddy?
See, here's the problem here. Little too much face, not enough tits. So I'm lowering the rating here I had the 8. I had the high watermark. We're going to go 6 right here with this one. It's a 6, yeah.
Okay. Chirizi?
I'll go 7 here.
7?
Again.
Okay.
Because it would have been an 8, but I feel like that's a lot of filters.
It does look very filterish.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
that's true.
You almost make me want to go 5 here, but I'll stick with my 6
filter, just regular camera filter.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Third picture, we're going to start with you, Chirizi. She's out for a nice hawk, a nice walk or a hike. I don't think you can merge the two together and match it up.
But you tried.
But maybe.
You
So
tried to get
walk.
me convinced that there was going to be a hawk or a falcon,
Yes.
which would up my ranking. Now I'm giving it
Mercy.
I'm giving it a 6 because there's no falcon.
There's
That's
no falcon.
No falcon.
It could be in the
looks like a
trees.
perfect opportunity for falconry.
But
alone.
she's got it going. She's got the cool beanie with the big glasses.
I can barely see this person that we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's a 6.
Okay. Beef Loaf?
Yeah, I mean, John Carney took the words out of my mouth. We got to subtract some points for the big glasses.
sunglasses.
Fuck those big glasses. I mean, I was going to go 7, but he's right. I'm going to pull 2 points off the board. 2-point penalty for a low blow here with these goofy-ass glasses. We're going 5 this time.
So they got to have the PM Dawn sunglasses, the big fat head with the itty-bitty glasses.
Exactly. That's much better.
All right, boys. Now the work is going to get a little bit harder. We're moving on to the 4th picture. Now we're in struggle zone here. First one up. Not so many filters going on this one there, Loaf. What do you think? Out at the club, got the green light or the dark light.
Oh dear.
Teeth are looking a little funky.
Yeah, the teeth is it's a big that's a problem.
Goofy smile, right?
Goofy smile. There's some, and I don't like to make light of anyone's nose, but the nostril flare is a little off-putting. I'm going to be there should be enough air for everyone. You don't have to suck it all up yourself. So we're going to go 4 on this one. I hate to do that too. I hate to go 4, but the whole package here is just a little rough, and we know she could look a lot better.
All right, so Loaf, I'm going to write you down for a 4 for this one so far. Okay, Chirizi, what are you giving this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go right down the middle and go a 5.
A 5.
Beef, I might have been with you on the 4, but I think she's hammered. So I'm giving her an extra point.
Great
for
point.
Hammerino. I think it's a Hammerino picture.
Okay, now, just for the sake of the game, say this chick sent you this message, which is you wanted to S me off, and she said, I did. I would have gagged on it, but I had to come home. Now, would you increase the hotness from a 4 to something else, Loaf, or is she still a 4, even if she sends you text messages like that?
Still a 4. I'm sorry.
Still a 4. Crazy.
I've had a blowjob in my life, so I'm fine. It's still a 4.
A point, or does it not change anything? Is she still a 5?
I mean, for me, it's not changing anything. You send me shit like this all the time, and that doesn't increase you, honey.
But I'm a Midwest 9.
You're already you're already a 6. You're
all
good.
Right.
You're good.
Okay, picture number 5 here on the sidelines at the Ravens game. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with the face. The face are like now as white as the glasses, and they weren't. The teeth are showing again. I don't know. Goofy chin. She got the Jay Leno-ish chin going there. I just don't know what's happening. I don't remember who I'm supposed to start with. I think it's Chirizi. Chirizi, give me a number on this one.
I'm giving that an 8 because that looks like a motherfucker that could get me on the sidelines of the Ravens game.
All right, Loaf. You can give her an 8 too? Or what?
I'm not going to go 8, but I think Treasy's on the right track here. You got to give credit for she's out in the elements. She's probably working. This is like, it's tough. Like you see any of us at work, we're not looking at our absolute best because you got stress and there's all kinds of shit going on or whatever. So I think I'm going to give her a 6 here. I almost want to give her a 7. Like even though you think the looks not that impressive, she's out there doing stuff with the band, and it's probably 42 degrees out there, and it's windy and shit. So yeah, I'm going to give a 7 on this one.
Okay. Now, again, like we did in the last one, if she sent you this text, would the rating go up? You enjoy it. You like to feel it, from my man Steve. And she says, I like feeling it deep in my wet blank. Then she says,
that blank possibly be?
I can't tell you. Letting you taste it, though, would be such a turn on. And he said, I would have shot all my blank all inside your blank. And she says back, I love making you blank. I enjoy it more when you blank inside me.
MSS, I'm mad.
Is she going to go up to a 10, Chirizi, with that? Or is she going to
No.
an 8?
No, I'm actually upset because you cut out my favorite part of this text message thread is that Steve Smith responds and says noted. And it's like, noted? Are you writing notes?
He did note. And he
so he noted that. He noted that.
Does she go down or up?
You know what?
It stays the same.
Same. Okay.
Get me on the sideline.
For me, I'm tempted to go down because she's trying to gas me up. She's telling blatant lies in there. I don't want to. I'm not sure I'm interested. So, it might be less than one. So, but we'll stay the same for now.
All right. So, last picture. This is the wedding picture. That's the baby under the blue dot. I didn't want to put the baby out there. Now,
it's probably a good call not to. Yeah.
You put your best foot forward. When you're at your wedding, and they take nice pictures of you, and you put it up on your website. 4 years after you got married. And this was the picture because this is beautifully retouched. So we can't trust that, but you can trust the picture your friend took on the left-hand side and did not adjust anything, making you look like an evil, like wicked stepmom from a Disney movie. So this is the picture we're working with. Give me a rating on this one. Beef Loaf, hot or not? 1 is a not, 10 is hot.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna surprise you on this one, MSS.
Okay.
I'm going to go 7. And I love her hair in this. I'm a big fan of the hair and the glasses combo. So
that should have been the ugly picture?
Yeah, I think so. I like the hair. The hair's flowing and everything. So I'm going to go 7.
Okay. Going with the 7. Chirizi.
I'm going to go with a 5 because unlike Steve Smith, I am not turned on by someone who's married with a kid in their arm.
Okay, so Chirizi with a 5, but if she sent you this text message after you send her
again
the worst text picture that you could take of yourself.
Again, I've sent you this picture, MSS. In fact, I kind of look like this right now if I just lean in it a little bit. So you send me nice stuff back after I send those. This doesn't improve her number.
It doesn't? I didn't even read it. I was going to say.
I know what it says. I've read all these.
He says that I'm going to turn you over and get deep inside of you. And she says, you're so hot. Deep is an understatement. It felt like you were going to rearrange my IUD. You were so deep. LOL. That doesn't increase the hotness to you, Chirizi? She doesn't go to a 7? Nope. All right. Loaf, I mean, you already think she's hot. Does this make it even hotter or no?
No, that's just weird talk right there. That's kind of bizarre. I don't know. That ain't for me. That's not for me, you know?
All right. Well, that's hot or not with MSS, with the, Nicole Martinez. So that's my banter for the night.
All right. MSS, you want to pay some bills real quick and get to our guest?
You know what? I was just in there, and I should have just known that this was going to happen. But, here we go.
Are you ready to turn up the heat? We're bringing the fire with our newest and hottest menu item yet, smoking hot shrimp. We're taking 8 large shrimp, brine with Carolina Reaper powder, then lightly hand battered with Nashville hot seasoning. These shrimp are bold, fiery, and packed with flavor. So hot, they don't even need sauce, but we'll include one just in case you dare to dip. Of course, we're serving them up with a side of crispy fries and a soft roll, so you can pace yourself because trust us, you're going to need it. One bite of these blazing hot shrimp, and you'll know why they're called smoking hot. All for only $14.99. Available at all locations. Think you can handle the heat? Stop by one of our 4 locations today and put your taste buds to the ultimate test. Order online at chicagoshrimp.com. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, serving the seafood you crave for 75 years.
All right. Well, we had some news in White Sox world recently. In fact, in the AL Central, right? So the Twins,
yes, sir,
were going to be sold to the Ishbia brothers. Apparently not happening. Instead, Justin Ishbia has added shares of his already had some. He's added some shares of the White Sox, the minority shares. And we're going to talk to the guy who wrote the article on it in the Athletic. That is John Greenberg. John, welcome to the show, buddy. What's up,
going? John?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
I was telling my son, we had to run out real quick. I'm like, I got to get back. I'm doing a podcast. He's like, which one? And I'm like, well, it's a bunch of White Sox guys. He goes, are those the guys that did that thing about the apology video for you?
We're trying to grab you out of this.
Yes.
Because he had to write something about his parents, so he Googled me.
Oh boy!
Which he had never really done before, so that kind of came up.
And that popped up. Oh, good. Our SEO was good on that. Nice job, MSS.
Thanks, guys. You guys are incredible.
My dad was nearly killed at a White Sox game by a man taking edibles. No, I was on edibles that night, sir. Take it easy. You're supposed to calm you down, but it did not calm me down.
It was only hand-to-hand combat, though. MSS didn't sneak a gun in under his fat. That's not
allegedly.
No.
Someone else.
Well, you can do
that. Absolutely.
It's been proven. John, we wanted to get you in here because, I mean, there's not a lot of very interesting stuff to talk about with the White Sox. And so it's when something like this comes up, and you wrote a really great article on it, we want to know just more about the Justin Ishbia situation. And to start it off, like, really understand, what do we know for certain in this situation? What do we know for certain about his intent of buying the White Sox?
Yeah, so what we know for certain is that he put an offer out to the shareholders, to the minority partners, right? The very, very limited very silent, not a lot speaking with Jerry in the elevator kind of partners. That's not totally true. They're allowed to speak. He just doesn't have to answer them.
Jesus.
He put from what I heard, and I got this confirmed through a league source, that the valuation was at $1.8 billion. Now, 4 years ago, Michael and Jonathan Reinsdorf offered to buy out these limited partners in 2021, and I believe the valuation, I never got an exact number, but I believe it was around $900 million. So the only people that sold then were the ones who just were probably already rich and were just wanted to get out of this. And some people were doing estate planning, some people were really old. The other people.
And John, from what I read about the 2021 sale, is that the Ishbia brothers were involved in that with the Reinsdorf kids through a special purpose vehicle, kind of a sidecar LLC that they were buying from. Is that correct?
Right. Which, and at the time, I didn't know, that was in Cranes and stuff. We knew they did it, but we didn't know where the funding came from. And I know of at least one other billionaire who put money into that to give them money to do it. But we didn't know Ishbia was part of it until January. That came out of a Sportico story where you saw the thing about the special purpose vehicle. And I actually kind of forgot about that. I actually was reporting this, and then someone told me, and I had to be like, "Oh yeah, that Sportico article. Let me
go find that. Where is
learn
that?
about that?" Right. So, I mean, the people that when they were told that someone wanted to buy their shares, they didn't even know who it was. They weren't told it was Justin Ishbia. The person who told me didn't know at all. I made a call to someone else who knows some partners. He thinks it was Ishbia. Then I made a call to some people in the league, and they told me it was. And that's around the time when I got Dan Hayes roped in, because he used to cover the Sox. Now he covers the Twins. And he was the one that broke the initial story, I believe, about Ishbia being interested. So he had some info already, had some contacts. And that's when we really got it confirmed, when the Twins are like, "Oh yeah, he's not, it's not happening. He's moved on." We found out in the most people at the Twins didn't even know about it. Only really high level people did. And it had basically been going on. Now, I had heard in the last month, I talked to someone today who said they heard even longer. Whatever, deals like this go. But supposedly Reinsdorf approached him during this Twins pursuit and talked about him buying, maybe more shares of, and it might have been Michael that approached him, Michael or Jerry, about buying more shares. Now, the part where it gets a little confusing is everyone I talked to, including people with, some knowledge of the deal, told me it would include either some kind of guarantee or some kind of pathway or right of first refusal to buy the team outright, to buy Jerry's shares, whatever it takes. And then the White Sox, in their statement to me, denied that, which was it's kind of like I went to them at the end. You kind of go to people like that at the end, and then then it's a little bit of a curveball. So you got to figure out how to write around that. But yeah,
right.
I know people that have already, and I think pretty much the deadline is tomorrow, is Friday, but.
Right. And now who's the deadline on, John? Is it on the Ishbias, or is it on the partners to say, okay, yes, we will sell these kind of thing? Okay.
Yes, and I'm sure there's some kind of deadline for him to sign things as well. Damn. But yeah, it's on them to say that whether or not they're selling, because they don't have to. Right. And originally, in the original version of the story, because a limited partner told me that someone close to them told me that they thought their shares would be diluted with him buying in. And then the one thing the White Sox did ask me to fix was that they said that wasn't true. So someone must have just maybe they assumed it, or they just read it. So that, nothing was going to get diluted. I assume they asked me to correct that because limited partners were calling Jerry like, "What?"
I don't want my 5% to be 3%. And just to clarify for the audience here, what that kind of means is that the buying here isn't just a blob of money that's going in there and going with the rest of the money. The money going in there is buying someone else out. They're getting redeemed. They're going out. So this one's coming in, that one's going out. Net of nothing. So everyone else who's not involved in the sale, their percentage of whatever they own, the partnership stays exactly the same. If the money had gone in, that means more total money, and then you could get your percentage being lower. That's not the case, according to what you're hearing.
Right. So, and I do think there is a question whether he's putting more money into the franchise, though, or whether he's going to, whether it's for a stadium, whether it's like a separate kind of entity he's doing. I don't know if he's going to be a member of the board. That would be kind of interesting. It's these, as I wrote, if you look at the guys on the board, Jay Pinsky is the young one, 76, and he's the only one under the age of 85.
Spring chicken.
I said they don't let him talk. Too young.
He's sitting at the kids' table. He doesn't get to be.
I don't know how active the board is with Jerry. I don't think Jerry ran the Tony La Russa decision by the board. You know what I mean?
Potentially,
John. I do like how you wrote it though in here, because as someone who looks like me, I get called old a lot, and the way that you nicely put, a number of these limited partners have been with Reinsdorf since the very beginning. Back when he and his partner, the late Eddie Einhorn, were wide-eyed newcomers to the game. Mm-hmm. That's 1981, right? Like, so that's 44 years. If we're writing a blog about this, we write that as bunch of old fucks. I love how you lightly put it there. But like what I think about though with that situation is like thinking about Ishbia coming in and buying these shares. Is it someone who's making a move towards purchasing the team, or is it someone who's getting some value out of people that probably want to get rid of their shares at this point?
It's got to be. Listen, and I wrote a follow-up column to this where I kind of, you couldn't put a lot of your thoughts into this. This was a straight news story. I told them I was, that's how I was writing it. Mm-hmm. And my thoughts are, is what anyone's thoughts are. Why would a guy who could buy the Twins pass up that opportunity to give more money to Jerry Reinsdorf to be a silent partner? That doesn't make a ton of sense. You would assume that it's with the idea of buying the team outright, because he said he wants to buy a team outright. This isn't like he's just a billionaire who had no interest, and he could just be parking some money in here. He wants, and listen, I'll be honest, people I talked to that know this deal were talking to me with the kind of insinuation that this is happening. It wasn't even an insinuation. It was like, okay, when he does this, when he takes over. Now, I don't know if that's, right of first refusal. I don't know if it's I don't think it would be a handshake kind of deal for this kind of money, but like what the kind of, or is it just
a handshake deal though?
Right.
He's like, we don't need lawyers.
Right. We don't need lawyers. Or if it's just like,
I'll give it to you. Just relax.
Like he's buying so many shares, then like no one, whoever would buy the team, like, it would, who else would it be? Like Jerry's 89. And you have to think, as much as he said, he's going to sell when he dies, et cetera, he is 89. And the fact this is basically estate planning. In some ways, if you think about it, for a control freak like Reinsdorf, this is a good example of his personality, because if he has them sell it after he passes, he has no control over who takes his baby. This way, it gives him a control. You know what I mean? And he gets to stick around for a few more years. Like the comp someone gave me in baseball would be like the David Blitzer situation in Cleveland. He bought in 25%, I think, in 2022 with an option. I think it was like a 6-year runway if he wanted to buy the team. Now, that could be another thing. It might be a thing where he doesn't have to buy the team. It might be like a period where he if he wants to buy the team in 5 years, he can do it. So that could be another way of getting around kind of how the statement they gave.
I was going to say, and John, the way they stated it, they did leave it like that. I agree with your thought process there. They left it with the optionality that, no, it's not a foregone conclusion, but yeah, he probably has some time mechanism or some event mechanism that allows him. And probably part of the putting the money in is locking in a certain price certainty. Because a lot of times these deals, what they'll want to do is they'll want to lock at some number. This way, if the market goes up and down, they have the optionality of getting in or out of it.
And I did hear from someone, a leak source, that there might be, it was a positive, he thought there might be an escalator in there, like that it could go up to like 2 billion, or 2.2. And I heard the price is really like, the real valuation's like 2 billion, but they have like 200 million in like debts.
Okay. So offsetting probably, the other. Okay.
Right. Like offsetting. So, I think that's probably an option. I've heard, people think he might dump money in now for maybe a stadium, to get like stadium stuff or.
Well, so John, I wanted to ask about that. Like him coming into this situation, what does that do for the overall stadium situation of all the back and forth they've had?
I mean, it improves it a ton, because what's the real sticking point? It's that Jerry doesn't want to spend his own money, of course.
Yeah.
The team money. I don't even know how much they would have to do. He wants public money. That's a sticking point. And if the 78 really can have a baseball stadium, everyone has been saying the Fire or the favorite because Joe Mansueto is willing to put his own money in. and build a stadium on his own. And they obviously would rather have that. But like, if he's willing to like pay a lot for a stadium, then it gives everything. It's all about the money, Like, or maybe he fixes up what they have now and like actually makes that like a ballpark village,
Right.
So when you have money, there's so many, and it opens up so many doors, right? You're willing to spend money on your own. Like, who's going to stop
out of here?
Well, John, you mentioned you mentioned like him having money, his substantial bankroll, but Shore Capital Partners, he works in PE. They don't list the LPs on the website, but you have to think that he has contacts in public and private pensions, sovereign wealth funds, family office. There's connection to a lot more money. People who would be willing to invest in certain parts of the thing and allow him to structure it in a way where he makes a fortune off of whatever's done there, and they need way less public money. Doesn't mean they won't shake the public tree for a little bit, but his capability is way larger even than his $5.4 billion valuation.
Right. I think he manages 11.4 billion or 11.5 billion is what Shore Capital Partners. And I didn't even know about that. Like, I had originally wrote that, a lot of the wealth comes from the mortgage business. And, I got a correction from someone saying, no, it's, that's a big business, but he has, look up Shore Capital Partners a little better, 11.5 billion. And I talked to other people who are just like, oh yeah, they're enormous. And there's so much stuff going on in here. Like the bank the White Sox uses, or this like investment bank they're using, Byron Trott, and like this other bank he merged with. Look them up. It's like they're so high end that like we would never have heard of them. Someone gave me the name, and I had to be like, oh yeah, I know them. Yeah, then again, Googling again to see who this guy is. They're using some big. That's another thing. If he's just buying shares from these jamokes, these 75-year-old guys, would they be really using this huge bank that specializes in like very high end deals? No, right? Like,
Exactly
I just think Jerry, when he got the call that one, he's like, who's John Greenberg? Who's this putz? Am I a putz? Would you think he called me a putz or a schmuck? What do you think? I think I'm more of a
maybe
putz.
a schmo.
I hope putz,
like
because
putz.
you're
putz.
a jokey guy, so you got a good sense of humor.
Schmuck,
so he might piss you off. You might piss him off with it. So
schmuck's like an idiot who would like.
You're not that.
I'm more of a general putz. But that's Jerry's big thing is like when he doesn't want to talk to a reporter, he pretends he doesn't know who they are. Like I heard when Jeff Passan was there this year doing his story, Passan asked to talk to him, and Passan was told that Reinsdorf doesn't know who he is.
Okay.
Watches every game, John. Has no idea who Jeff is. Not one.
Now, John, we're talking about the stadium and the deep pockets here. One thing did catch my eye. Do we believe the White Sox are, if they were to be purchased by Justin Ishbia, that they would be safe in Chicago? Because when I was looking at the Shore Capital Partners website, their second office is in Nashville. He owns minority interest. Yeah, he has minority interest in the Nashville soccer team. And as Treasy mentions, he's a Vandy guy. That's where he went for law school, right? He went to law school in Vandy?
Law school, right, yeah. I would say, like that's obviously connections there. I will say there's two things. One, $1 million house and buy a team in that city and then move it somewhere else. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
Two, when we were writing this out, we were debating that with the editors, and one of the baseball editors sent me like a thing from a story that Major League Baseball doesn't want another team. One, doesn't want a team moving. Two, doesn't want a team moving into an expansion market. Like the A's moved to Vegas.
Kills the fee.
Kills the fee. Like
you think a ton of money if they have a new team.
Teams make a ton of money on expansion.
Ton of money.
So they would absolutely not want that. And you don't want Chicago to Nashville. That's a terrible idea. Even though they're the second team, it's still this is a huge city that can, if the White Sox are actually run well, they would draw fans. And that's the thing that always 100%. Drives me crazy is everyone talks about those Sox like they're just like, no one wants to go there or this and that. Guess what? When they drew well, they draw fans. In 2021, in that second half, when there was full attendance, I tell the people listening, go look at Baseball Reference and look at the attendance for the weekend games. Every week, the weekend games are outdrawing the Cubs weekend games in 2021. And 2022
it was
they
packed.
Finally got back
it was ridiculous.
And they were good crowds.
Yeah.
I would say if let's say you put money into keeping the stadium there and redoing it, I would rip up the upper deck. absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you can structurally. I'm not an engineer, but like rip up the upper deck and like just change anything you could to change the configuration of that to make it a more palatable experience. Whether you make an overhang, like at Wrigley or something like that, because the lower bowl is
fine.
It's not full, but like it's pretty packed. It's just the upper deck,
the upper tank. The upper tank. I mean, it used to even be worse.
It was way worse.
Remember how
steep
it was?
It was basically like the upper decks in the Coneheads movie. But now then they like they did a little bit to help it, but like I hate going up there. I still feel like I'm not
disconnected. And the fact that they don't let people like they still ban people on certain games from going downstairs.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Ridiculous.
John, I wonder. Oh no, go ahead. Go
ahead. It's nothing important.
I just wonder, like, the one thing about like keeping the stadium there is it's like, okay, you got this guy who's got like a ton of money, and like you said, he's building this huge ass house in Winnetka. But also, we look at these guys like they're like us. But like when you're worth like $11 billion, you can fly back and forth from here to Nashville, and it's not really. It's like driving to fucking Ohio for us, right? You're like, whatever.
Right.
Okay, it's $300. But the big thing, I think that for like possibly a new stadium, not moving, I don't think they're going to move, but building a new stadium is having to deal with the fucking state every time you want to do something at stadium. Like, is that a legit concern, or am I just making that up in my big fat head? Because are you like you have to go through?
Summer, are you asking? Are you asking that because like right now the stadium they have is owned by the state? Yes. Are you saying like they would want to own it as opposed to the state owning it? Like, so even if they stay in the same spot, would they buy it away from the state?
I'm sure the state
would the state sell it?
I know, they'd probably sell for $1.
Okay. Right.
Just get out from under it.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Well,
if you're the state,
okay.
I'd be like, get me the fuck out of this thing, right? I mean,
sure thing.
Well, here's the thing too, and I know someone in baseball said this to me, and this is kind of a pipe dream, but with like, I was asked someone once, hey, would you lead a group to buy the White Sox ever? And he goes, yeah, if the Bears move, I would ask for a stadium where Soldier Field is. Now that's again a pipe dream with a lot of moving parts. That would be fascinating to have a baseball team right there. Yeah, you don't have the bars and stuff right there, but the environment would be like as a tourist.
Where would we park, John? Where would we park? How would we get there? How would we get to someplace that people go to every other Sunday for 3 months? So how would we get there, John? There's no parking lots there, bro. I don't know how I do it.
What's crazy about that is like if you think about like in the winter going by the lake sounds horrible, but in the summer it sounds incredible. So like wouldn't you like it's much better suited for a baseball stadium.
That would be really cool. Now that would take like, you have to be obviously all the politicians have to be on board, I mean, I don't know what happened, but it definitely sounds like the Bears are moving, to Arlington Heights.
Right.
And that's been the buzz rate. I mean, that was like common sense. Like they were never going to like, I remember I was talking about this today. Like, remember when they were like, first he started saying he was interested and you're like, okay, this is a possibility. Then they had the big presentation and you're like, oh wait, this is definitely not happening. It's so bad. It's so stupid. Remember the presentation of that when he was like, we're gonna save the youth of Chicago by giving them like a park. I was like, how are the youth of like the west side and the south side going to get there?
Going to get down here, yeah, exactly.
Right, like, and where are they
people can't get there to go to the game who have tickets.
Right. These are like kids without cars, and then like, what are they going to do? Play like hopscotch in the park? Like what fantasy world is this guy living in? But remember all the bathrooms too? That was his big thing.
Yeah,
they're gonna have bathrooms everywhere. So it sounds like they're building out in Arlington Heights, but it's just an interesting idea, and I think if you have money, you can make some of that stuff happen. But we'll see. I don't, like I've said, I don't think they really need a new stadium. I mean, frankly, I just think they need to fix up the one they have and fix up the area.
Rehab it, and then start to develop where they can develop. Treasy, you want to hit a couple drinks because they are trying to say hi to John and some of the drinks. I want to make sure.
Okay, let me get those. I was trying to keep us as sober as possible to talk to John, but we'll throw that out the window. This one's from Trey. He says, "Cheers, guys. Going to listen on the road tomorrow." Cheers,
Thank you, Trey. Appreciate you. Trey.
We got Aloha, Mr. Hand. He says, "Cheers to John."
Yeah, fuck us, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Hand.
Thanks. Cheers.
All right, and then we got Anthony says, "Drink for Ishbia owning the White Sox. You too, Greenberg."
I don't know the White Sox. I also don't like U2. Not a bad.
Really?
You know what? U2's weak. I've never been a big fan, but I did go see them live once just to say I saw them, and they were actually really good in concert.
Probably
Yeah,
really
I saw
good
them
live.
Yeah, my wife always gets on me about that whenever she likes U2. She thinks
I don't think I've liked anything past the Act Tune. Like that was
Yeah,
just
right.
like that was
That's the end, right?
after
Yeah.
that.
What was the
like,
Blue Sky is a jam,
weird
all right?
shit, man.
But I mean,
weird shit after
the
that.
early albums are awesome. But is
Yeah,
U2
yeah.
one of those bands that like is either like you're just totally out, or you're so in on it that it's insane?
Yeah, I think that's
Probably.
what it is. I'm just not like, this is kind of boring. But yeah, their originals, their new old stuff's obviously great. But like, I'm just, I don't know.
True.
Never
They
did
play,
much for me.
They play U2 at all the White Sox partners meetings. That's I'll show you. That's their fan base. Oh man,
So, John,
they're good.
If we're looking at this as fans, and we're seeing this is in the news, podcasts are talking about it, shitty podcasts are talking about it. How excited should we be as a fan? What should we look at as like a reasonable timeline to something changing?
I mean, I think a reasonable timeline, like again, someone suggested like Blitzer, like 4 or 5 years, 6 years. Jerry's 89. So, I mean, he might be like Sister Jean, who looks younger every year. So who knows? Because he still likes to obviously hang around, right? This is his life. The White Sox are his life. So, and he wants to see it get better. That was Jerry's thing, right? He kept saying he wants to make it better. And everyone's like, please stop trying to make it better. Like, the love of God. It's like Mr. Burns when he tried to make the world a better place. But so I assume he wants to stick around for a little longer. I do think fans should get excited when there's a change, right? And now it's the idea of change, a real tangible, actual idea. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's just been too long. He's owned the team too long. There's such little success. It's not like the Bulls where you can at least still talk about the 6 championships.
Right.
I mean, how many great seasons have you guys had as White Sox fans? Like 4 or 5?
4. Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. Yeah,
I could count them on one hand. Like that's
right. I mean, that's that's it. Like you just don't. There just hasn't been any real success. It's just been like literally a few seasons have been good, and the rest is all just about your community and the community of White Sox fans and just like the remaining community, which you thought it was going to be like this renaissance. And it was the quickest, most disappointing renaissance ever. I mean, that's just sad. It's just like I think about it, 'cause we rip so much on them right now, and everyone's so down on them. But it was just a few years ago where the White Sox were like one of the hottest, young, exciting teams in baseball.
Yes.
It's crazy how quick that fell apart, and really fell apart like just nosedove.
If you look at a guy like Tim Anderson, right? Like I mean, like. A couple of years ago, we were like, man, are they going to extend him? Is this going to be, could this be like the first $100 million contract that the Sox make as an extension to Tim Anderson? And right now, this is only a couple of years later, and he's fighting for a roster spot on a terrible team.
Yeah.
So like, it's insane.
Well, look at the Chicago baseball in general. I mean, Cubs, some of these guys are getting paid a lot, but they're all terrible. Baez, Bryant, these guys could all get, released with money owed. Rizzo's out of a job. Moncada.
Schwarber's the only one that's been still good,
Right. Schwarber's been still good. I mean, Giolito's, we don't know what he's going to be up to. I mean, it's crazy how quickly things can change, in baseball. And Tim was always kind of like, yeah, he was good. And he had those 3 good years in a row. But, because he didn't walk, that was always going to be like, you knew there was going to be some variance in his performance. And a lot of people in baseball weren't really sold on him. The guy of all those guys I'm shocked about is Chris Bryant. And yeah, I know people say he didn't love baseball and all that, but shit, I mean, go to Colorado, you think he'd hit something. I mean, the guy went like a year without hitting a home run in Colorado.
And he's been hurt too. Like he can't even stay healthy.
I thought Eloy would have been better. I thought Eloy would have been at least been like, at least had some slug. I mean, when Theo compared him somewhat derisive, with a little bit of derision to Carlos Lee, I mean, he's nothing. Carlos Lee's like Babe Ruth compared to him.
Much better. Yeah, I was just saying, much better player than him.
Multiple-time All-Star. So,
You know what will happen with Eloy? I think because now he has to fight for a position. He's going to fight for a job. Like he either is going to get it together or he's not. Like this is the time. Like he lost all that weight. He's coming into camp, and everyone in White Sox Twitter is like, he's going to be great. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's definitely a motivator to have two teams tell you to fuck off.
Is he Baltimore?
Same year.
Tampa.
Where
Tampa.
Yeah.
He's in Tampa. He signed with Tampa. It's a minor league deal. It's not a major league deal.
Yeah.
It's a long putt for some of these guys. Like for real. So
until I mentioned his name, I forgot where he was. I hadn't thought about it.
John, you mentioned White Sox fans should be excited. Let's play devil's advocate just for a second because I think everyone in White Sox fandom is really excited about this. But what are the signs that the Ishbia brothers and Justin in particular are going to be the type of owner that we all want? Like the rich billionaire guy who treats it like fantasy baseball, and not just another private equity guy who's using it as a repository for an investment, putting capital somewhere so they can grow money. What are the signs that saying they're not going to be that guy? They're going to be the Steve Cohen type, even though no one's really Steve Cohen.
I mean, I think, just what his brother's doing in Phoenix. I mean, has he been great? No. But he has spent money, and he's attracted guys, and he's attracted people there. So I would say what's going on in Phoenix is like a pretty good sign. I mean, like I said, it hasn't been great, but it has been a pretty good sign. Now we know he loves baseball. We had a story on him when he gave like $10 million to Michigan State, and he just talked about his love of baseball. So I can't imagine he's going to be just like a total private equity douchebag on this one. That, I have to imagine he wants to come in and be like, and make a splash in Chicago and show the amount of goodwill he's going to come in with is incredible. And if he had the sticking point's always been money, right? Because Jerry never had money. Jerry came in as 6% owner of the team and gradually built it up, and they took over a pretty distressed asset. I mean, yes, they had some good players and La Russa, and they had a really good front office when he bought the team. Yep. But they weren't making money. It was a different era. But now we also, the White Sox are in pretty much the bottom though. He's going to have to do a lot of work, or Jerry's going to have to do a lot of work to get there. And someone's going to have to do a lot of work on this team because TV deals, whatever. We don't know when they're going to get the Comcast thing figured out. Probably soon on a premium tier, but that's not going to make a ton of money at first. They've got no attendance. I mean, that was one of their worst. This was their worst year since '99. It's
just us
last year.
I was going to say it's hard for us to give away our tickets. Even Teresi and I got extras, and it's hard to give them away when our wives don't come.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. They have no attendance. I mean, everything's just bad right now with the team. I mean, they're going to win. What are they going to lose this year? 110 games?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, they're bad.
Not 100. Right? Not 113 though. It's just 100.
We need that over 49.5. We can't mess around with that.
Oh, did you guys get 49.5?
Yeah. We got a good number. We got the opener,
came out right when it came out.
Yeah, I should have done that when it came out. That's a good number. But now Ben Attendee's hurt.
Yep.
I don't know that hurts that number.
It might, but we don't know. Yeah.
He'll be back in the second half. That's when he usually hits home runs in the second half. He's fine.
Martin Perez today said they're contenders. He doesn't care anything.
We saw that. We're like, oh my goodness.
I mean, they have. If you look
start.
at that lineup, jeez. Now they do have some. There's some exciting things with Smith and Schultz. Sean Burke looks like he's throwing hard. I mean, there's some stuff there.
Davis Martin looks pretty good too. The pitching is all right.
Exactly. There is some talent potential, but man, that lineup. Whew, how are they going to score runs?
I mean, a lot of wild pitches. They need a lot of wild pitches.
I mean, who is going to hit in this lineup? I just don't understand. I mean, I guess with Robert's, I would walk Robert every time.
Yeah, I just pitch around him. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
You don't even need to do that.
Is Talkman going to carry
out?
Hit a home run the other day. We'll see.
Talkman might, out of the gates, be their best option to get on base. And I don't know if it's even close. Unless Mydroth makes the team.
Really hoping that Coulson's not hurt, though. After not starting today.
He's hurt.
How does he have a sore back? He's like 22 years old. I have a sore back.
Maybe he's been hanging out with the females in Phoenix. He's like getting all his, his action in before he comes to the bigs.
Jesus.
He's hanging out at 4 Points Brewery or whatever the fuck, 4 Peaks.
John,
I don't remember all the places anymore.
John, before we let you go, I think we're going to throw a couple of conspiracy theories at you that we have about the whole ownership thing, and see how you react. I'll go first. Because I'm going to go with a Jerry's cheap. It's not that much of a conspiracy theory, but Ishbia had to get rid of his shares if he was going to buy the Twins. So do you think it's possible that Jerry rounded up all of his guys and said, we're going to lowball the hell out of this guy. He's got to sell these back to us at like a $300 million valuation. so that either we get all this stuff that we want for cheap, or he's stuck and he can't buy the Twins.
I like that one. I think that's a good one. Yeah, he doesn't want to buy division contender. He's keeping him in. He's locking him up. I kind of like that. I don't think, as conspiracy theories go, I think that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't quite believe it myself, but I like I like the way it sounds. I think if I tweeted it, people would. There's a group of people that would believe it. Beef, do you want to throw one out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so my conspiracy theory is kind of the Hyman Roth and Godfather 2. Do you think Jerry's intention the entire time is to lasso in some of this money, change out some of his limited partners that have been there a long time that really want to get out, but really, he thinks he's going to live forever. He's going to push off the sale, and even if they get to deadlines when the sale could take place, push the thing into court and try to hang on to this team forever.
No, I like that one too. Yeah, that's another just like him. Like, does think he's going to live forever, and it's just like, you're right, going to be totally like, there's going to be some kind of like vague language, a deal where he's, yeah, I can see that for sure. A nice. All right, to end his life with.
I don't really have a conspiracy theory, but how hard is the wind gonna be blowing when he takes over the ownership of the White Sox and the entire front office gets totally canned? Like, they're gonna fire everybody and start from ground up, or are there gonna be some people that are gonna be sticking around?
Oh, well, can you imagine the ass kissing that's gonna go on when he starts coming around? People that want to keep their jobs, it's gonna be like, we saw it with the Cubs. Someone's going to pull Crane Kenny, and prove themselves like, they can't get fired. I think some people probably will use it to, the opportunity to move on. I don't think stocks pay that. It's great. You can keep your job, and I don't think they pay that great. I think it's more just like, the fact that you can stick around forever. And they got a pension. Jerry kept their pension for a lot of people.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was the one cool thing he did. He really fought for the pensions when other owners wanted to get rid of him for non-uniformed employees. And Jerry, at least was like, everything people have said is like, he's a great guy to work for. It just, as long as you don't want, your business to actually succeed. As long as you want to have your job. And you don't
that one little sticking point. You don't want to get into that.
Don't be too good.
Right.
Don't be too good.
It's great to have a job. It's just that you're like, your job's miserable when it comes to like the wins and losses. If you care about wins and losses. Yeah, if you're just like, oh, my job's selling tickets, I don't even know what this team does. That's great. Fine. Like, what do these guys do? But no, I don't know. I think everyone's like, oh, he won't sell, never sell. But like, he is 89. Like, this does end eventually. So it'd be, it's smart. 1.8 is pretty good valuation. It's not, people thought 2.5 is probably what, maybe they could get it for, maybe what it'll end up going for. But if I'm one of these, and I know people that are selling because they're, like, they're 76, what am I waiting for? This is the time to sell. It's good money, and good for these people for getting out. Team sucks. Right. Everything's bad. Yeah, like, what would you want to watch for? Like, I know someone who's like, yeah, we're like, we still have a year's of season tickets, and he's like, we know. I was like, it's not like it's gonna be hard to get them. You don't need to keep.
You can buy
get the tickets probably next
ballpark pass for $125. Go to opening day and 27 other games. It's like, come on.
I wonder if you can just keep using it after that's over. Like, can you keep like just
no one will notice
ballpark pass?
They'll just keep sending you tickets.
In July, just keep coming in.
If we can assume that the ticket scanning works as well as the metal detectors, yes, just keep going. One ticket all year.
Wow. Scroll through, baby.
Wow, just getting them all through. Getting them all in there.
Right.
Second time.
Get get a kind of a thick woman, put it in her bra or in her ballpark hat. I'll never touch it.
I did. AJ was on 670 after you were on 670. He was in the afternoon, and he was like, I love this because it's going to be what the Cubs should be. This guy will come in and spend the money and buy the superstars and do all this stuff. And I kind of paused a little bit because I was like, I mean, I want to believe that. Like, should I believe that he's going to really spend money like it's just ridiculous, like Cohen money, or is it not really?
I don't think it's gonna be Cohen money, but because remember Cohen still has like a decent cable deal. You know what I mean? Like all these teams that spend a lot of money usually do have good cable deals, and they don't yet. So, but listen, it's not going to take a lot to be above.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, he spent more in his house than the White Sox ever have on a free agent contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's pretty rare. $80 million house, and he's got the Andrew Benintendi of house. You either have this house or Andrew Benintendi.
5 years.
Right?
I mean, the way it's been, I might want to have that guy's house.
You'd rather have the house. Man. Also on Lake Michigan than Andrew Benintendi in my lineup.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man.
John, thank you for coming on and talking us through this. And you know what? You gave me a lot more hope than I thought was going to be the case. I was ready for you to throw some cold water on the whole situation just because it's so far out. But I really appreciate all the information you gave us. It's always great talking with you. Yeah, and hopefully get to talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We'll talk again maybe around the season starting.
Yeah, hopefully not during an epic losing streak. We don't need.
Are you guys going to go to the Bone? Are you going to Bone Thugs at Ramova after the?
We're performing the night before at Ramova. We're doing an opening day Eve show the night before, so probably. And we drink a lot at the game, so probably not. We probably won't make it to Bone Thugs. When
I first saw it, I thought we were getting the same show as Bone Thugs. I was like,
Bone Thugs. Oh, yeah. We should close for Bone Thugs. I think.
Bone Thugs. They should play Crossroads instead of the national anthem before the game.
Yes. Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love it. Let's do it.
I'm in. Yeah, if you want to come to opening night, come through.
I know I'm still going to be in Arizona. I'm taking my kids to spring break. That's their spring break that last week.
Nice.
Every year.
Beautiful.
So we're coming back on I think Friday or Saturday. So I'm going to go to the Cubs domestic opener in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
And I think we come back the next day. So I'll be at Sox probably Saturday or Sunday. So I'll swing by then.
Sweet. Yeah, come through.
Can't wait to see you. John, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
John.
Thank you, John.
Anytime, guys.
Always good to talk to John.
John Greenberg. I love talking to John.
Great stuff. Hey, guess what time it is?
You know what? It's not time for that.
No? You're going to go back into it?
You know what?
Let's do it.
I got something for you. I got to put you. MSS, I'm putting you on the Lawrence's hot sauce seat.
All right,
you're on it right now. Because honestly, I think you speak for a lot of people with this take that you have. And I don't agree with it. So I want to get into it. I'm going to play a quick video of a little bit of baseball. And it's about 20-second clip. We're going to watch it. And then I want you to tell me why you hate it so much. Okay.
There from Cosgrove. Hey, Tellier behind the back. Fires the heater in. And between the legs with the bounce. Bryson Bloomer pulls off the professor. Sal Jacobo behind the back at first base with the reception. Double trick play and a doozy. Banana ball at its finest.
All right.
the flip.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, what it was Savannah Bananas against the Party Animals. The Party Animals.
Banana ball, not baseball.
The Party Animals throw behind the back pitch. The hitter grounds to third or short. I can't remember. And the guy dribbles it between his legs.
Don't matter.
Throws to first. The first baseman catches it behind his back. And then the umpire does a front flip and then punches them out.
That's the best.
Why do you hate that, my
Why do I hate it? Okay, here's why I hate it. Because, listen, if you're there for entertainment and you want to watch entertaining shit, sure, feel free. And the Savannah Bananas, to their credit, at least don't call it baseball. They call it banana ball. They don't try to pretend that it's baseball or do anything like that it's an actual sport. It's just purely entertainment and all that stuff. Now, the part that you're not being totally fair to me. Hold on. The other video was what I really didn't like. When there was synchronized dancing of these 6 people in the infield, and then the pitcher proceeds to throw a pitch, and it's 6 feet outside of the plate. It's not even close to being a strike. It's just bullshit. It's like it's starting to jump the shark, okay? And for people that don't know what that means when you've sold the fuck out. Now, listen, Savannah Bananas have always been a sellout. They're all about making money, and that's fine, and they're doing great. They're going all to all these MLB stadiums. They're playing everywhere, and people fucking love them. Apparently, everyone in my family loves them because they're like, how could you not tell us that the Savannah Bananas are going to play on the South Side? We need tickets. We need to get tickets. They don't know. Exactly. That's how I feel. Same fucking way. But I don't like it, but it's not because I think it like people shouldn't watch it. You can do whatever you want. Watch whatever you want. But don't call it baseball, and don't be like, well, this is so much better than what fucking real athletes do. No, it's not. None of the guys that are playing that fucking game would want to play that game. They're only playing that because they can't play in major leagues, because they would rather play in the major leagues and make shitloads of money being good at a sport, not trying to figure out how am I going to hit this banana ball with my bat on fire and not burn the fuck out of my face. You know, this is what we're looking at. So, yeah, no, fuck that shit. I don't like it. I'll probably be there, but like, because I have
probably be there. He's still gonna go. This is what I was trying to tell you last week, Treasy, and you're like, no. Last Summer is a bitch. I told you he's a bitch, and this is proving it right here. No. I hate this. Fuck this.
Like a fucking bitch. A weak bitch.
But I'll probably go.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Loaf. Don't tell me you haven't done things because your family makes you want to do them. It makes you do them.
Of course I have, but I don't want a 15-minute tirade complaining about it, all right?
What?
I'm a man. I just do it, all right?
Hey.
But hang on.
Fucking content.
Hang on, though, my Sox Summer.
I have to be a little hot.
I think I got a real reason why you don't like this, and I'm gonna pose it to Treasy and see what he thinks. Look, we go to games with my Sox Summer a lot. Okay, especially on the weeknights. My Sox Summer is in an altered state. Sometimes a lot of mushrooms. His fucking head would explode if he was watching that kind of baseball, right? That's some out of bounds shit for how high he is at the stadium.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, listen, I did a gram the other night and watched that Saturday Night Live 50th show. Holy shit! I thought I was blowing up. It was so funny. I had to rewatch it. Parts of it because I was like, that was so funny. It had to have been the drugs. It was not the drugs. It was just really funny. So yeah, no, that's not really the case. But I don't particularly care for it. But they also didn't do. Remember when I was predicting like this is going to take over and everyone's going to hate them because they're going to be like inundated with this shit. They have kept their shit out of my feed long enough that I don't hate them as much. But I still don't like it. Don't like it though. Don't like
you
it.
Predicted it, but you're the only one who really hates it a lot because the prediction. You want the prediction to be true. That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Really.
I think some people are completely indifferent to it, but I'm not. MSS, you're not the only one that I see out there on Twitter going, "Oh fuck this! This is bullshit baseball." Blah blah blah. And like, I needed to know. I have a source, which is you, of this kind of hatred. So I wanted to know about it.
We were talking about the Globetrotters. And I actually respect the Globetrotters a little more because it seems like more of a skill.
I don't get how you like the Globetrotters more than this. Like,
I think it's more of a skill.
You keep them separate somehow.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. But maybe it's just because the Globetrotters have been around for so long. You know, you're just like, but look at
their tradition. This is a new shit, and that's maybe the difference.
It was like more, and it was never built as like these guys are really good. It was just like this is entertainment. They played the same team. They suck.
I don't think anyone.
Now the party animals got their own thing. They got their own tour. You know, like who the fuck?
I don't think anyone's
about the party animals.
I don't think anyone's saying that they're so good or anything at baseball. I think they're saying it's entertaining.
I think some people are saying.
Rich is like, it's exactly the same. No. I kind of agree.
I don't agree. I do not agree.
They've even realized that only 2 teams should exist in this. Like once you go past the 2 teams, there should not be a league of this.
Right, exactly.
I think they have more than 2 teams, though, don't they? I thought there was another one.
I think it's just the Bananas and the Party Animals. I've never seen.
There's one more. I think there's one more, but I'll check out.
John Carney's correct. Meadow Lark Lemon was the Saint. Yes,
Dude.
I agree 100%.
And there is a very storied history with the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, there's a reason why it's like Negro League baseball. To be quite honest, it's like, hey, we have another league, and it's entertainment, and it's different. It's not like the Savannah Bananas exactly. I mean, the concept potentially is the same on the court and on the field, but it is not the same with everything else around it. Like, don't tell me that bullshit. But I don't want to get too deep because I'm not on drugs.
So they're basically what you're saying is the Savannah Bananas are basically the Flint Tropics, right? Jackie Moon's Flint Tropics. That's what you're saying they are, right? The entertainment.
Right. Like,
okay, I kind of see this.
It's not like they couldn't play their brand of baseball somewhere, so they had to start their own league. Okay, they just are not really good and can't play regular baseball. So they like, how do we do this? Let's light some shit on fire and throw stuff between our legs and see what happens.
Do you think the Globetrotters were like the best basketball players on earth?
They were
just very talented at the things that they did. And
well, they had pro players playing with them, though. I mean, you're kind of right, because I think Will Chamberlain played with them for a little bit. There was a bunch of them, you know.
I'm sure a lot of these guys played pro ball in the independent leagues.
Yeah, right.
You got a drink here. Jay Zell says, gas. Go look at the payroll of the 2005 White Sox compared to the top spenders. All you need is grinder ball rule 1.
I want to hear this bullshit. Get the fuck out of here, Jay. I love you, Jay Zell, but fuck off with that take. Thank you.
All right, MSS. Now it's time to pay some bills.
What about your brother? He doesn't have 7 things to talk about tonight?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, he's got the whole back half of the show.
He does.
That's right. I got a lot to say later.
Back half. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
That's right, motherfuckers. I sold another Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. 108 OG Yumper and his lovely wife bought a brand new CX-30 from our friends at Mazda of Orland Park. Thanks to Juan and Mario for hooking our guy up and providing that fabulous customer service Mazda of Orland Park is known for. So take it from me, the best salesperson ever. If you are looking for a new or used vehicle, Mazda of Orland Park will hook you up. Head to MazdaofOrlandPark.com and check out their inventory. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-586-9412. Zoom.
Wow.
Right.
So fast.
Barely made it back. Fuck.
Back just in time. Just in time, putting his headphones on as he sits down. I'm going to turn it over to him now because it is 108 tourney time.
Absolutely. So, we have an idea, or I should say I had an idea. It's about a 2-year-old idea that was percolating around, and I was spitballing for ways to make the 108 tourney better. We're always looking for improvements, ways to keep it fresh, not only for us, but for you, the watching audience. And it really came to a head this past year when we did our end-of-year meeting in November. I think it was late November. And we realized we haven't been doing as much charity as we would like to do. We used to do a lot of charity in the original days of 108. And we wanted to get back to our roots. We wanted to give back more. And we're going to be doing a lot of capacities. We did 108 Day. We decided to create the 108 Celebrity Charity Tournament. And so we reached out to a bunch of our friends out there in the media and otherwise, people we would consider quote-unquote celebrities, some former champions of the 108 tourney, and built the field and asked these people, hey, play for a charity. We're going to put up the money. We'll do a little 1-week tournament, and everyone can have some fun with this. And we got 16 participants, which I'm going to unveil to you right now. My Sox Summers graphic is absolutely terrific. There we go. There's the field on the board. I will run down each and every participant, starting with, he's a 3-time champion of the 108 tourney, having never lost a match in this arena. The chancellor of the current 108 tourney. A mainstay at White Sox Twitter. You can trace his roots back to the old country. A dear friend of the 108ers. A longtime contributor of Barstool Sports, White Sox Dave. And White Sox Dave is playing for Chicago Canine Rescue. Up next is a man who needs no introduction. He's a super fan. A bear for life. Gas Money Bob. And Gas Money Bob is playing for National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Yep.
Following Bob, he was the Cinderella of the 2020 108 tourney, changing the way we make content in the competition. It turned It turned midnight that year, though, because he did not win. But the following year, he ended up getting the championship in 2021. He's been retired since and had a bracket named after him, Summer of George. And Summer of George is playing for Paws of Chicago.
Yeah.
Up next, this man is a Chicago sports radio institution, a living legend, a 670 The Score alum, and the current morning host at ESPN 1000, along with the cap man, Jonathan Hood. And Jonathan Hood is playing for Bernie's Book Bank.
I've been slacking, man. I'm sorry.
Next up, this man is known as the Realness. He's also a 670 The Score alum, a CHGO alum, the hottest free agent in Chicago sports media sphere. That is Herb Lawrence. And Herb Lawrence is playing for Brave Space Alliance.
Boom shakalaka!
She's the biggest rising star in Chicago sports media. She does pre and post for Chicago Bulls on 670 The Score, as well as being your in-stadium game day host for the Chicago White Sox, Alyssa Bergamini. And she is playing for the Andrew Weischer Foundation. She is the queen of White Sox Twitter, the first female champion of the 108 tourney and a true original, Allie White Sox. And she is playing for Planned Parenthood of Illinois.
Smoke weed every day.
He is the city sound man, a legend in our times, an artist of epic proportions, and a veteran of 670 The Score, Chris Tannehill. And he is playing for CJE Senior Life.
Boom shakalaka!
Next up, he's the host of The Stretch and The Dog Walk on Barstool Sports, a real neighborhood guy, Eddie Barstool. And Eddie Barstool is playing for Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Chicago.
Talk is cheap, motherfucker.
He's a top Bears analyst and covers the NFL draft with too many outlets brandishing his work for me to even name them all. Jacob Infante. And Jacob is playing for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
That's the second one for that.
Yeah. Two for MSS.
It was really easy to do those. Thank you, Jacob.
He's a gambling expert, playing his trade daily on Bet Sweats, in print at Fox Sports, and weekly via his own podcast, Chicken Dinner, a friend of the 108ers and fun in general, Sam Panianovich. And Sammy P is playing for Mount Carmel High School's Gridiron Club. That's the same thing my wife said. She was like, what the fuck, Mount Carmel? Up next, he does daytime sports on WGN Radio. He does food brackets with his partner in crime, Mike Piff, Kevin Powell. And Kevin is playing for the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Want a chicken dinner.
She's a live wire of reporting covering the WNBA in an unapologetic way for the Chicago Sun-Times, Annie Costable. And she is playing for Girls in the Game. He is the 2024 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Champion, a Southsider by origin and attitude, Patrick Bertoletti. And he is playing for B. Fido's Friend.
You would think I would get it after.
You should have the cadence by now, no?
I don't.
Having a little trouble. He's having a little trouble.
He is a living music legend. He's played in bands such as Public Image Limited, Killing Joke, 9 Inch Nails, and Pigface. He is Invisible Records, and he's Cherezi's former boss, Martin Atkins, and he is playing for Darkest Before Dawn. And closing out the field, he's an actor, musician, and one of those lunatics that sits in the Wrigley Field bleachers every damn day, a legend of Cubs Twitter, Danny Rocket. And Danny is playing for Lost Boys, Inc. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your 2025 108 Tourney Celebrity Charity Field.
Beef, I got to tell you, we're putting this together, right? And
Yep.
I'm like, we got to have Bertoletti in this. And I text him. And one of my favorite things about Pat is that, like, there is no text right back situation with this guy.
Yeah.
He will text you the next time he's looking at his phone, which could be 12 hours from now. So I texted him like in the middle of the day. I'm like, I'm sure he's up around this time. And it's almost noon. Like, just make sure. And I text him like 10:30 at night, and he's like, "Now what is this?" It took a little bit. We went back and forth. We got it sorted out though. He's excited to be in there. Similar with my guy Martin. He was like, "Do I need to know shit about baseball?" And I was like, "You do not." He's like, "I'm in."
It is funny, like some people that have been into 108 tourney or kind of understand our whole bit, they were easy, like, yes, I'll do this. Other people were like, hang on, how does this work? Wait, what is this doing?
Is this?
Once you explain it to them, they're like, oh, yeah, cool. But I'm not going to name who it is, but I had someone who was a super well-known radio person for a long time in Chicago, and he just couldn't get the concept. And so he didn't end up being in, and I apologize. I'm going to try to get him in next year. I'm going to try to work on him the whole year and see if we can get him in, because I was like, man, this guy, it would be cool if we can get him in. But didn't happen. But what do you guys think about the field overall? Just one real quick thought on the field. Anything you like here? Who do you think could win this thing?
I'm just imagining Annie tomorrow morning waking up and going, I'm playing against the guy that won the hot dog eating championship. Like, what the fuck did I just say yes to? Like, and he says, and who else is in my bracket? Like guy that used to play drums with 9 Inch Nails. What the fuck is going on here?
How did this happen?
Yeah, like this is just a weird mishmash. The whole right side of the bracket is like mostly 108 tourney virgins, right? Like they've never really participated in stuff like this and probably not all that familiar with it. I think the left side of the bracket, which is White Sox, Dave, Gas Money, Bob, Summer, George, Jonathan, Jay Hood, Herb Lawrence, Alyssa, Allie. Straight bangers over there, and that's it was one of the harder things when making this stuff up, because you're just like, oh god, these are way too good of matchups to have in the first round, but that's what it's supposed to be. The celebrity bracket is supposed to be great fucking straight gas, so we're gonna see. Now listen, we know Summer George has got a job now. So, I don't think he's breaking out the samurai sword.
Bring the sword to work, all right? Bring the sword to work day. We've heard of that.
Like hands and getting hammered and then having to go to dinner with his in-laws, after he's been doing this. But, it's nuts. I think, the guy that's commenting right now, Herb Lawrence, has got a great chance to win this. People love him. But I would like to see, here's what I would like to see. I would like to see a little comeback from our Alley White Sox. I want to see her go through and just tear some people's heads off and have a good time, because she was fun when she won. She was awesome. So
that was huge.
I want to see Alley White Sox do some damage on that side of the bracket.
Let me ask you guys a question, because there's a certain thing could definitely happen in this, which is Dave and Eddie get to the final against each other.
Yep.
What does that look like?
They sure could.
Because I feel like if we're looking at overall Twitter, I'm thinking Eddie could probably win that. But is Dave going to let that happen? I feel like Dave will go all out. If
Dave will go all out not to lose Eddie. Yeah, I agree. He's not going to allow that. No, I don't think so. And as shepherds of White Sox Twitter, I wouldn't want to allow that personally. We're impartial because it is for charity and it is going to a good cause. But I wouldn't want to see Dave lose to Eddie in the championship. I want to see that.
There's Cubs risk.
Yeah, there is Cubs risk right there. And he went on some show, and we haven't brought this up, and he said that having the Sox Fest at the Ramova was like having it at the high school cafeteria. So he talked shit not only about the White Sox, but he talked about Ramova and Bridgeport in general. So you can't let Eddie Barstow win this thing if you're a White Sox fan.
I don't want him getting out of the first round.
Hold on a second. Eddie's talking shit about Bridgeport, but then filming tons of bits and things.
In Bridgeport, exactly. At Shinnick's and all these places. Riccobetti's.
Fucking ass out of here.
Out of Canaryville.
If you're going to be pulling... Exactly. You can't be pulling up in Kelly's and shooting in Kelly's and then talk shit about Ramova. Christ almighty, Eddie. Man, I'm going to send him a very strongly worded DM. Okay? I am.
Not tonight, please, though.
I'm excited about this. I'm super excited about this. I love all the charities that people are going for. I think you probably noticed that Martin went with the one that I use pretty much every year for the 108 day. Yeah. I'm only upset about Sam's. The Mount Carmel thing.
The Mount Carmel charity. He did that to stick it to us, Treasy. He did that to stick it to us. He did it on purpose.
To see him tomorrow, and I'm just going to walk in and say, "Fuck Mount Carmel."
He didn't hesitate with it either. It was almost immediate.
No.
Yeah. Kevin Powell, who's out in Vegas right now, right? Like he's partying Vegas, up. Yeah. Like he almost was playing for Jade from the Spearmint Rhino, but we talked him down for that, and he said that he's going to be doing the Greater Chicago Food Depository now because they're like, hey, listen, man, you probably should give her all that money.
I wish we had the graphic right now because we didn't have a charity for him. MSS is trying to put together the graphic, and he sends it to us, and he's like, "Don't post this one," and it's got Spearmint Rhino. It's just charity. It was perfect.
I messaged him and I told him, MSS said you're going to go, since you're in Vegas, you're going to go for Spearmint Rhino College Fund. He was dying laughing.
I know we can mess with him because he's a good guy, so he's fun. Plus, he dicked us over on the Festivus show. He's like, "Oh, hey, I'm in," and then 13 seconds before he's supposed to come on, he's like, "Oh, guys, I'm busy. Sorry." So I hope he doesn't win.
He's a good man. You take it easy. So I'm gonna put the bracket up on the board one more time for everyone to take a quick look as we get to the final part. Of the podcast tonight.
Do we think that like Jacob Infante is going to get the support from Maddie Spagnola, who is our 2024 champion, 108 tourney champion? Like, is she going to push her bow?
Her like, peoples?
I don't know.
She get her peoples behind it? I don't know. I don't know what alliances will form behind some of these people. I don't know either if people are going to go more for the celebrity or go more for the charity, because some people might be like, "Oh, I really like that charity. I want to push for the charity."
Yep.
And so we'll just see how it ends up lining up. That's what makes it a little bit unpredictable, in my opinion.
Will all the people that are Cubs fans and love obvious shirts put all their support and hatred of me behind Danny Rocket to push him through to the finals to potentially try to ruin our tournament? Will that happen? I don't know.
I think the problem is for Danny is like Danny can't even like one of the things he could probably do in the first round is do like a song or something to try and get out of the first round, but like that's a little tough going against
Martin.
Not
optimal. That is not optimal.
I was reading up on him last night, and I was like, he's in the video for
had like a hole,
and so I had to watch it.
And MSS, you've not been to a pig face show?
No.
Oh baby, that's something. I've been to a few. It's they're terrific. If they come around again, I would like to do it. What's that?
I said I've been to like 100, but mostly of the time working.
You were working.
You were slinging shirts.
I am hoping that they bring back. For years they were doing the night before Thanksgiving. They were doing a show, and that was usually at Talia. So I'm hoping that maybe they do it at Ramova. This
that would be sweet. Really nice. Yeah, I would love that.
Be nice to show in there.
I mean, I think that's it for the celeb tournament.
That's it for the celebs.
We'll get into it soon. When does that start?
Yeah, celeb tournament is going to start Monday, March 3rd. It's going to run through Thursday, March 6th. So it's just a 1-week tournament, 4 days. There will be a third place game on the day of the championship because we got to decide that third place. That third place will get $200. Here's the way that the money breaks down: $500 for first place to your charity.
Yep.
Second place gets $300 to your charity in your name.
Yep.
This is coming out of the 108ers' pockets. You guys don't got to do nothing. No sponsors paying for this. No one's paying for this. We are paying for this. And then the third place, $200 goes to your charity in your name. Now, we're going to have a blog post up as well.
My idea.
You guys can donate directly. And so we're going to put that up tomorrow. That'll be Friday. And we'll post it everywhere, give you guys a chance to click through. If you like the charities anyway, you don't even, you're going to root for your people. But if you want to donate direct right through the blog post.
I will say what I'm going to do as we go through this is I'll have people that I want each day. Yep. And if they don't win that round, I'll kick to the charity because they're not going to get the 200 or up. So I'll kick to the charities of the people that I'm backing. So I'm going to back some people throughout. We'll kick to those charities. I hope a lot of people do that.
That's a good idea. I thought I was going to do what I was thinking is that my not my vote, because my vote is going to just be determined on content, but also how much they pay. Like if they're really trying and they just get whooped, but they're still trying, then I'm donating your charity too. So that's the thing. So I always like to vote for underdogs just in general, but like if you're an underdog that tries hard, I got your back.
Jay Zell's back. He says, "Hang a star on it, boy."
I appreciate you, Jay Zell.
I'm gonna tell you guys, these dark and stormies delicious. It's probably problematic for Friday chorizo. You might.
Oh well.
Oh, dude, the bots know we're back in tourney season.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they saw it. They
Beautiful.
know. They're like, hey, there's gonna be an impression landslide going on over there. Let's get in on that.
Oh, Jay Zell's back. That farmer was so much better than Chris Ranchi.
There's no question. He's better than him right now.
It's fucking crazy.
Sorry, Ranger. Just joking, buddy.
Fucking Ranger. You know what though? Beef, I'm a little upset. We're getting the bots from Twitch over here.
Yeah.
We're live on Rumble too. I
saw
want
that. That's what I was trying to
No
figure out
Rumble
what
bots,
that was.
huh? Okay.
I was trying to
We'll
figure
get
out
there.
what that
We'll get there,
was.
baby.
I was like, what is
Beef,
that? It's Rumble.
Beef, I feel like you got some other 108 tourney stuff you want to get to.
I do. So we're going to reveal the bracket for the full regular 108 tourney next week. In this time slot, Thursday, March 6th, it'll be 8 p.m. We'll do an entire show breakdown. We're going to have guests. We'll go through the entire field. But as tradition, we like to give you a little something to percolate on for the week in between. And I'm going to reveal right now the number one seeds in the 8 brackets of the 108 tourney. Boys, are you ready for me to go ahead and do this?
I hope the commenters are ready, because I feel like the commenters, if you're watching, you might be interested.
Let's go.
Here we do it.
She is the number one overall seed, but also the number one seed in the Sunday Soak region, the returning champion, Maddie Spagnola.
Yay.
That's the champ.
That's the
champ. Who's going to knock her off?
Shakalaka!
She walked to the title last year. No one even came
did.
close. And someone was telling me this year, no one will come close this year. Now, I tried to build a tournament that's going to make a fight for her, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah.
We'll see when the full bracket comes out. Up next, the number one seed in the White Sox Dave region, Courtney Finicum.
I feel like Courtney can make a run. I feel like that Courtney has the ability to make a run. People really like her. She's got a podcast where she could get people out to get behind it. There's a lot of options here.
There's no question. Totally agree.
I think they're on CHSN too. I think you can watch Baseball Isn't Boring on there. And I think also there's a little bit of something with them with Odyssey and 670 to score. So definitely out there. Definitely out there.
That picture would be way better if that wine glass was filled to the brim, though.
We'll let her know next time. Next time you take a picture like this, tell them to give you a full fucking pour. Next up, the number one seed in that classic view region is Missy Carroll.
Smoke weed every day.
Missy's made a bunch of deep runs in this tournament, but never been able to finish it off. Never been able to win the championship.
I feel like she's a person, though, that could put out a shitload of content during the tournament.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what she comes up with this year.
And if she doesn't, you know what time it is.
Love it. Up next, the number one seed in the LA White Sox region is Alexis Lopez.
I disagree with this entirely. I don't think that this should be the number one seed.
She shouldn't be a number one seed. And she shouldn't have a picture with a cat in it. Is that what you object to?
I was surprised Alexis was in. I was shocked that she made it.
Oh my God!
Man, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate.
Going to kill you.
Talk is cheap,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I'm sure she's watching right now.
She's got her minions.
Not commenting at all. Not commenting at all.
On the edge of her seat, obviously.
I don't support that talk.
You're staying out of harm's way. I appreciate that. MSS. All right, up next in the Wave Sucks region, the number one seed, Gabriel D. Silva, American Raging Bear, and our tribal chief.
Yes.
There we go. That's the one. That's the one I was waiting for.
Now, do you think Gabe has got a good run in him this year? Because he's had a couple where he's gotten a little bit deep, but he hasn't really gotten the people fully behind him to close out the region and get to the final. I think he gets to the finals. He can be a sentimental favorite, but he's got to get there.
I think the people have never been behind Gabriel more than they are right now. So I think this is perfect timing for him. I think he's got it in him. He's going to make a run.
I love it. No, I think he does too. I think he's real strong right now. All right.
He has kept the same name for at least 6 months, so people will know who he is. So
they can find him. They can find him. He didn't quit Twitter. He didn't quit Twitter for 2 months. You know.
Oh, they haven't kicked him off. Like it's a good run right now.
I like what he's doing.
The streak is going, baby. Let's go.
Yes, absolutely. Go, Gabriel.
Yeah, he's ready. He's hyped up in the comments. Let's go, baby. Tribal Chief, they're going nuts for him. All right, I love it. Maybe they'll get behind him this year. Maybe they'll give him a shot. All right, next up.
I love it.
Is the Whiskey Gotcha region, and the number 1 seed is Bob Tolan from the 11th Ward.
My guy.
No, I like
Bobby felt cheated last year. He felt cheated, Treasy, especially by you, buddy.
I feel like when the 11th Ward crew came into being, Ricky Shifter was way out there in front.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a marathon. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It is a race. But
It is a race. It is, in fact, a race. I agree.
Not so easy when you got to talk.
I feel like Bob Tolan has taken over as the head of the 11th Ward.
The front runner.
It's a case.
Yeah.
It's a case
I think
race. You got to pace.
He's the alderman of the 11th Ward on Twitter.
Yes, that's correct. And them boys, they're getting ready, man. I could see the crew is strong. And I told them on Twitter, I put a little video out there. I'm keeping all the 11th Ward animals together in one region. So people won't have to face them until one of them gets out to the finals. The rest of you will not be contaminated by these scumbags. So just so you know.
They will only attack each other with their their fun brand of mischief.
That's right. All right, up next. In the Summer of George region, the number 1 seed is Baloney from the Chicago Sports Bums.
I mean, I've seen this region. I love this region. So I'm very excited about this.
There's a lot of storylines in this region, I'll tell you that.
But this is going to be a great region. But I love this. I love this 1 seed right here.
And Baloney usually kills it with the content. See, the Bums do a great job pushing the content out there. And so it'll be interesting to see how they space it in this year's tournament. Just Sam Reeves says DEI 1 seed. How dare you bastard.
See, I want to know if Sam's really high right now or is he back on the sauce? Because he's just been blasting out some really good comments tonight.
No.
And it makes me wonder if it's Miller High Life fueled. So, or is he on cocaine? I don't know. Like which one? You've been killing it tonight, Sam. So
he's just a maniac. I think it is. So, all right, last one. The 108 region, and now the 108 region, you have to have 1,000 followers or less. So we knocked out the region where you had 500 or less. We just consolidated it back to the 108 region, 1,000 or less. Number 1 seed in the 108 region, 1,000 or less, is John Nava. John Nava, number 1 seed.
Boom shakalaka!
I thought John had a great year overall on Twitter, and like he really came out. And let me tell you boys something. If you haven't peeped this region hard in some of the drafts, this region is so strong because we went back to just under 1,000. There are so many known characters in this fucking thing, and it's going to be wild. I can't wait for the matchups in this region.
I'm kind of mad at you because you used a picture of my guy John, and he don't look as good as he actually looks. He looks much better than that in person.
I think he looks
good
in this picture. What are you talking about?
I don't like this pic. He's got like the double chin. He's looking a little.
Oh, he's got all 108 stuff on. What
yeah. Oh, it looks great in the 108 stuff. I'm just saying. We could get a more flattering.
You Savannah Banana down there, motherfucker.
I'm gonna show you my banana, motherfucker.
That's it. That's our number 1 seeds for the 108 tourney. Next week, we'll announce the other 120 people that are going to be in the 108 tournament. We'll do an entire show. It'll start 8 p.m. Central Time, Thursday, March 6th.
And finish 12 a.m. Central Time.
Beef, I got a question. I got a question for you before we get going here. Which one of our wives texted Alexis to tell her that I was talking shit?
I don't know. I ain't saying nothing.
She definitely wasn't listening all show.
No.
She's here now. How
dare you?
All right, fellas. Well, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's that time where we get close to the end of the show, and I can't find the image. And it's time for thank you or
so
GFYs. Beef, who are you thanking or GFY?
I got to thank our guy John Greenberg for coming through and talking Justin Ishbia and the future of the White Sox. Look, you guys may not realize it, but we're a bullshit podcast, like many of the bullshit podcasts that populate White Sox Twitter. So to us, it's very cool when legit media is willing to like take time out of their day for a real hot story and come through here and talk for 50 minutes about it and entertain all of our fucking questions. I mean, it kind of reminded me of the Eddie Barstool thing with Bernstein. Eddie did our show kind of like right away. I was like, oh, yeah, happy to come on with you guys. And so John was nice enough to give us his time, and we're appreciative of that. And actually, we get along great with John. We have the same fucked up sense of humor. I think that's why we get along so well. So thanks, John. Appreciate you.
The Putz Schmuck discussion was the high point. That was incredible.
I also think he kind of owes this because his son got to really write a really cool report about his dad.
Because of us.
Because of me. But
you would have never even remembered you did that if we didn't tell you.
That's true.
You would have thought it was someone else anyway.
When he left, I was like, man, you should come back more often, man. You should really just come hang out. And he goes, that was not so and so. Oh,
sorry,
I had no idea.
MSS, tell us why you're GFY in a library.
Well, now listen. I have a legit excuse to tell the Chicago Public Libraries to go fuck themselves, but I won't because I do love the Chicago Public Libraries. They provide a lot of joy for me and my family. But I am going to send my thank you to our guy who spends hours, countless hours, and weekends, and months, and weeks, and whatever. Beef Loaf for making these tournaments and putting in all of the hard work to get us into where we're at right now so that we will have a really good, fun 4 weeks where we're just working like balls to the wall for the next 4 weeks. But like
the schedule's improved this year for our work schedule.
If the term didn't exist before of overthinking it, it does now. He is the epitome of overthinking it and rethinking it and redoing it and rerunning it through and didn't do it again. But I thank him for his service because he always comes out with something and it makes me go, yeah, that's really good. And this celebrity tournament, the bracket, making the bracket today. And I was like, I wanted to like let him know because, he gets a little upset sometimes, and I want to be like, listen, man, I like your idea and I want to make you something really pretty. And you had such a good idea. So I made you something really pretty today.
But
I spent a lot of time on that motherfucker. So, so thank you, Beef Loaf. And thank you, Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, for sponsoring the shit. So
absolutely. Yeah. Got to thank Lawrence's. Fuck yeah.
Beef, of course, thanking you. MSS, great call on that. I'm thanking John Greenberg. I'm thanking all the people that were in this that are agreed to do the celebrity tournament. I got one extra thank you though this week, and it's for
rum.
It's for my guy Mailman Jack because he helped me track this down.
Oh no,
we got it, fellas.
Yes, Freedom Rock. We'll turn it up, man.
Very excited.
Is it sealed or is
it
used?
It's extremely used.
Okay.
I don't know if any of the records are even going to play.
I can't wait till he's playing in his house and then he starts scratching the records, just messing around.
Or no, or he just keeps going over and over and just skips back and forth. It's like, yeah, I'm in, and hopefully I'm on mushrooms when we do that. So
yes.
Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Great stuff from John Greenberg. Big thanks to him. Yeah. And we'll talk to all of you very soon.
Oh, make me over.